Hi everyone. Um, Today I will be showing you how I made my track Cubano. So I'll be getting into the project, opening the project using Logic 9. So I'll be showing you guys how I made it, what sounds I used, and what techniques also. If you have also some questions about production, about anything you want to be answered, I will gladly try to reply to everybody. So today is the day that will show you how I made this track, why I made it, um, the story behind the track, and as you can see, I'm gonna show you here. Here's the project. So I will be showing you guys how I made it, what sounds I used. Keep in mind this is Logic 9, only for Mac users. So I'll be showing you how I made it. Hope you guys like it. Don't forget you can ask your questions about production, about anything you want to see answered in this video that I will be showing you guys how I made it. What was the concept about it, behind the track. Let me just get real quick here to check messages also. Just a moment. Okay, so let's do this. I don't know if you guys can see the project, but okay. So first things first, the track is actually a track that I designed for the dance floor. So basically, what my main idea is was to make something that I know that is gonna work instantly on the dance floor. And this track, it's all about that. It's groovy, it's tribal, and it works every time. The synths are really, really poppy, really in the center, really in the face. So this was my main objective, was to make something that works on the dance floor. So I started the track with this idea of this first break, which I used similar to King Kong, and everybody says, yeah, King Kong 2.0, which is normal because I made King Kong with Tony Jr., so it only makes sense that I can make tracks in that line, because it's a style that me and actually, of course, Tony, we created that that idea, so I can do it. I'm not stealing from anybody else. It's one of my creations, so it's only natural that I make a version that it's has some some similarities to my other tracks. It's no problem, so people can hear the track and instantly go, oh, this is from Kura. So for me it makes sense. So the first idea that I had, this idea came to me while I was taking a shower. So it's funny because of that, but it starts with this. So this obviously reminds you of King Kong because of this kick drums. I'm going to show you what they are. They're really simple. They're from Nexus, actually. So they basically they are doing this. Okay, this is the main idea. Then I added some claps just to give it more of a punch. So it's pretty simple. Also, to fill in the sound, I put some crowd noises. So this is a little trick that I sometimes use, you know, to get some reaction from the people. And I also used a little bit of the kick, this kick here, but reversed to give it just a little bit of an edge when it's coming. It's actually this. So it's just a simple thing, but it creates this effect right here. It gives that boom effect that it's really cool. So after that, I used like this ravey synth that's doing this. Reminds me a little bit of you know, that track from Bloody Beetroots and Steve Aoki. So it really works on the dance floor. So this was the main idea for the first breakdown, and it started from this. After that, I you know, I started to build the track around this, a lot of effects, a lot of stuff. And the beginning of the track is really simple. What I'm using is basically this. Which is a simple kick from Vengeance with a low cut. Simple low cut on 140 Hertz, which cuts all the bass from the kick. Also a ride, just to give it a little bit of pop. Also, some kind of percussion, tribal percussion. Just to give it a little bit of bounce. Then using this synth, which also has sausage fattener, overdrive, a compressor, just to give a little bit of a side chain, and the Fab Filter Pro Q is actually the EQ that I'm using at the moment. I really like it. It's not harsh. It doesn't really affect the sound in a negative way. Just, you know, you can boost and cut whatever you want, and the sound is pretty much without damage, which I've noticed because I've been using a lot of Logic's own plugins, and the EQ, what happens is if you boost frequencies, it damages the sound a little bit. So I prefer using the Fab Filter to boost, and in this case I also cut frequencies here, which is faster for me to work. So this sound is this, and without the effects. So the overdrive and the sausage fattener also give a bit of a pop to the sound. Then I'm using another synth here, just to give a little bit of ambience and groove. And then using this other vocal chops, and all together creates this. Then I'm adding this big kick drum over here in a 10-15 second bar. So then it will lead to the breakdown. So this is the first part of the track. I showed you the breakdown, the first breakdown, and also the beginning of the track, which is the part that we DJs need to mix to make the mix down between tracks. So I tend to keep it really simple, and you know, just to get things going. And this is the first part. So then after this small breakdown, only of 30 seconds, you have the build up, which is something like this. So basically what I'm using here is it's fairly simple. Also, this project is very minimal. It has something like 100 channels, which is not, it's not a lot, but it's you know, it's a considerable amount of channel strips. But it's mostly details, not really, you know, it's not a really dense drop, not a really dense, not a lot of instruments playing at the same time, but it has a lot of details, small stuff, small effects, small reverse effects. So that's why it has 100 channels. And actually my computer is not holding too much of this. It's actually, I have to change my computer, but it works for me at the moment, so I'm not going to change. So what happens in this breakdown is, in this build up, I mean, is I'm using a Nexus riser right here. Very simple stuff. Then I'm using here the sound, which is going to be featured in the drop, just to give a heads up of you know, what's gonna come. So what it has is it's a low pass, filtering the first frequencies, so it doesn't, you know, pop in your face without even, you know, any kind of warning. And then it has a reverb just to get it more spatial. Then what I'm using also is a simple sweep here, just to give a little bit of tension also. Very simple stuff, very minimalistic. Also, I'm using a lot of effects just to create, you know, more spatial elements, like this, like this, like this hall kick. Also using my signature snares. There, I don't know why, but the snares are really simple. This is the drawing of what I'm doing here with the, I don't know if you can see this, but this is the drawing of what I'm doing with the sound shift. Basically, this is a tool by Waves, and I use Waves a lot. This is a tool that lets you you know, pitch wave. So you can pitch by 1 octave any kind of instrument that you want. So this is great to make build-ups, to, you know, to mess with a certain sound. And it's for me, it's, from what I know in the market, it's one of the most reliable and easy to use plugins to do this kind of effect. Then after that, I have, of course, the vocal, which is one of the, you know, most important parts of this track, which it says La Gente de Cuba, which is a vocal from a sample pack, but it's not a random, you know, it's not a sample pack that it's been out there a lot. So when I use vocals from sample packs, I always try to choose stuff that it's not used a lot. So this is the vocal without any effects. I'm going to show you. La Gente de Cuba. And actually, it was just, this is, I can put it here so you can listen to it. This was the vocal without my you know, without me messing with it. It's just this. Wait, just it's muting here, so you have to take it off. So this was the main vocal, and what I did with it was I repeated the last part. I chopped it and I repeated the last part because I thought it was funny, and then I added a little bit of I pitched it a little bit so you can stay in the same key of the drop. I added a little bit of reverb, and I used the channel EQ from Logic, so I can shape it to what I want, and then the result is this. So yeah, basically this is the vocal that I'm using in the track, and also some effects prior to the, like how we producers call it, the pre-drop samples, which is something like this. I'm gonna select so you guys can hear. So basically what's happening is this. So this is the pre-drop, and with the vocal it sounds like this. So it's actually pretty simple. It works, and then what happens next is the drop, which I think is very powerful. And let's hear it. So actually, very, very simple. Let me just check what you guys are writing right here real quick. A lot of comments, 500 comments already, 2,000 people watching, which is very nice. Thank you. And I'm gonna explain how I made the drop. It's actually very, very simple. This is mainly the idea, and yeah, I created this synth. I didn't create it. I used a synth from Nexus, which without my effects and my processing, it sounded like this. This is without my processing. And with my processing, it sounded a little bit like this. Basically, what I'm doing here with the EQ is I'm cutting away the 350 hertz frequency range, which is associated with a little bit of rumble and noise to the sound. So I'm cleaning it up a bit because this sound is really harsh and really powerful. So I'm cutting here. I'm giving a little bit of boost in the 1800 hertz, and I'm cutting away this part of the high end because it was too much for me, and it was too high, and simply you don't need this kind of high frequencies. You're not gonna sometimes listen to it, but it will interfere in the actual sound, so I cut it away. And what I did also to stack the sound, because this is a little trick that I do, and I'm gonna show you. So here in Nexus, I'm using a really tight reverb. Although it's a hall reverb, which is associated to be a big reverb, as you can see here, it's a hall reverb. But what I'm doing is I'm mixing at a very, very low stage, so it's really a little bit of, it's not too much of reverb, and here the decay also. So it's a really small reverb. And what happens is, so I can make it a little bit bigger, I made a recording, I made a bounce of the drop, which is this. I made a bounce of the drop with absolutely no reverb, or with a really small reverb to it. And I added in the channel strip a big reverb here. So from Logic, what happens is, and I cut it away also a little bit of the, you know, the high end, so it's not going to get in conflict with the you know, the other synth. That's exactly the same. So otherwise it would phase if I play the two of them together. It would what means phasing is basically what it's like they would how I put it in English. They would erase, like they would be fighting with each other for the frequency range because they're occupying the same space, so they will be fighting in the same frequency range. So what I did was, obviously I you know, put a little bit of high cut here in this area, and what I did to this sound was, so what happens is this gives a little bit more depth to the whole sequence, as this is very minimalistic and very harsh, very in the face, but it really still needs to be big, to play in festivals, to play, you know, in big clubs, big crowds. It has to have impact, and it has to have some space. So I put this, I bounced the drop, and without my effects, it would sound like this. With the effects, both together. So really simple. I hope you guys are enjoying this this little, you know, tutorial that I'm, you know, that I'm explaining here how I made, in this case, my track Cubano. Nothing really fancy. This is no secret. You have this kind of advices and this kind of production tutorials everywhere in the internet, YouTube, all the blogs. I didn't invent anything. I just I have ideas, and I try to translate my ideas to my program, in this case Logic 9. So what everybody's doing at the moment, every producer, is nothing, you know, completely new. I know there are some techniques, some guys that are really technical, like Dairo, for instance. He's a guy that knows a lot. But what matters the most is the ideas, and the fact that you can, you know, translate your ideas to your program. So speaking about the second breakdown, which is really cool. I really like this breakdown. It goes like this. So this is a very nice melody that I came up with. You know, pretty instantly. It was something that ran into my mind when I was making the drop, making the track. So it's actually basically this melody right here. Of course, filtered in the beginning. Just using here basically the Pro Q again, cutting some frequencies here, and also the high end, which was really prominent in this area. And what I did was I bounced again. Then again, I bounced this part, this synth, and I made something really curious, which basically creates. This is the bounce sound. It's the same thing that. Sorry. So what I was telling you, this is the same sound that I was playing before. And what I did was I added EQ, a delay, low pass, sample delay, and a reverb. The sample delay, what happens is I widen the sound So it's like a stereo kind of feeling that you're having from this delay, because you're only delaying one of the channels, in this case the right channel. So it creates a stereo kind of effect to the synth. And the end result is like delayed kind of atmosphere vibe to the synth, and the end result is this. So this, what happens is this kind of small details can bring your track to another level, because when you're in the club, you have to put yourself like in the audience perspective, like you're there in the crowd. You wanna, you know, you wanna have something to connect to give you like a feeling, and this kind of atmosphere effects, this kind of feeling of the whole track gives the audience some kind of experience when they're listening, in this case, to this breakdown. Otherwise it would be too empty and it doesn't have feeling. So I always try to concentrate on small details, and they tend to make a difference, and I hope they do. So after this, I come to a bigger part with bigger synths, which is this part. Which is actually very simple. Again, this synth right here is very big. What I did was actually I could use pitch envelope to do this kind of part in the end, but I did it with a pitch bend, which is also another way if you want to create this kind of sound. And if you don't want to use a pitch envelope, you can do this manually, or as I did with my keyboard, just messing around like this. And then I did it perfectly with my mouse, of course. But it creates a different effect, like in this part. You see this kind of vibrato effect that this pitch bend creates. You can also do this with a pitch envelope. It's nothing fancy. It's just my way to do stuff. It can take more time. It can, I believe that it creates a different effect. Then I have this sound. This is from Silent. So yeah, it's from Vandalism, so everybody uses it. Nothing special. Just just keep in mind this: the idea is what matters most, and the crafting of the sounds, of course, the way you EQ it, the way the notes you play. So that's important. And the last layer of this kind of this lead is this. So this is from Serum. It's a very nice plugin from Xsphere. So I'm using this a lot. I use this in King Kong also. So this is a synth that is really good, and I'm using it a lot. So I also have some chords here using the Silent also. So very simple chords right here. They're fairly minimal also, but they create a very nice feeling. So basically, yeah, and then I have a bass sound, of course. I have some cellos here. I think it's a beautiful melody. I love it. And this is the bass sound. So yeah, basically this is it. Then you have a part with the drums and the whole melody, just to give you a little bit of energy. So basically this is it, and then you have the second drop, which is a little bit more like jungle feeling, something like that, which works really good. Sorry for this. And I also want to show you guys this this beat without any synths in it, just so you guys can check. I like it a lot. So you know, I'm really keen on you know, everything that is tribal, and this actually is comes from my roots, and yeah, basically this is it. This is the way that I did this track. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know if you have some questions. I'll be checking the questions out right now in the Facebook page. Let me just get it here. So yeah, let's see this. So this is a little tutorial, just how I made it. It's nothing fancy. About the kick drum, this is a kick drum that I found a sample, but then it's all worked by me, and I add 2 more layers, one top layer and one low sub bass layer to give it that sub bass feeling to it. So yeah, that's the what I made. Mixing tips. What I'm using here, I'm using parallel compression on everything. I can show you guys. I'm gonna show you real quick all the channels. Here they are. So basically, this is what's up. All the channels right here. All the effects that I'm using. Nothing fancy, very simple. And here are the parallel compression channels right here, which basically what parallel compression is doing right here is I'm sending, let's imagine all the synths to one bus, which is, in this case, is this bus, okay? So that I'm selecting here. And all the synths, all the sounds of the synths are coming through this channel. What I'm doing is I'm creating a copy of this channel to right here or right here, it doesn't really matter, but there is going to be a second channel that is going to play the same sound from the same sounds as this one. But the difference is this sound is going to be dry. I'm not going to affect this sound. I'm not going to compress it. I'm just going to change. I'm just going to mess up with the volume. But the second channel is going to be compressed. So this is what parallel compression is about. This is a compressor. And what I'm doing is really compressing really hard the sound. So the sound is going to, it's going to be like struggling, you know, to come on top. But what I'm doing is, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the original sound, which is not being affected by any kind of compression, and I'm going to mix it with this sound. So the volumes, that's what I'm going to mix, and it creates like a feeling of warmth, and it gives more warmth to the sound. And actually, in the end, it's easier to mix because you can mess with the overall volume right here. Although I also mess with all the channels just to be sure. And then after this, after messing with everything, I will of course go to mastering, but I will bounce my sound with anything, without anything on the master. Okay, so I'll do the mastering later because I like to focus on the mix down first and then the mastering. So let's see. More questions. So yeah, about the mastering. Most of the times I do my mastering. In some tracks, like John Christian, which is a very good producer. He has a mastering company, so he has done like 2 masters for me, which are really good. But normally, like 80 or I would say 90% of my masters are done by me, but I don't mind the master being done by someone else that knows, more of mastering than me. But I can do the job, and it's in the end it's playable. So for me, it's okay. So more questions. Let's see. How do I find uh, top kick samples? Well, you have a lot of them. You have recently Kashmir released a sample pack. You have a lot of top samples, top kicks there. You can use it, so it's not a big deal. And you can also the most important part is the EQing of the top kick. So you have to erase all the frequencies that you don't need, and to enhance those frequencies that that you really want to see on top of the kick, and want to see to flatter the kick drum, of course. More questions. Who is better, Nexus or Silent? They're both really good. I use them in almost all my tracks, and yeah, they're really good. It's not comparable. Depends on what you're looking for. Nexus is faster to work, but then again, you can. It's not as unique as you would create something on Silent. On Silent, it gives you the opportunity to create a sound from scratch, and Nexus is a sample-based synth, which means that the sound is already made. You cannot really mess with it. You can put some filters on. You can put some let's see, some beat crusher, some distortion, but you cannot really affect the oscillators of the sound, so you cannot create something completely new. So yeah. Yeah, normally I finish the track at -6 dB for mastering normally. So yeah, that's the way I work. Upcoming talents in the next year. Well, there are a lot, and let's see. I would say like guys like Dallas K, guys like let me see, Valentino Khan, which is a guy who's he's not like a new talent, but he's good. He's very good, and he's taking the scene by storm with his music. He has a new track with WeWack, which is just insane. Harville actually played it in India. It's raw. It's insane. So of course WeWack, which is not new, but is gonna be even bigger. I mean, more specific about frequency ranges when talking about high kick, sub bass, what numbers I work with. Well, normally for a sub kick, you would enhance like the 55k hertz. That's really the low. I mean, the lowest you can go regarding speakers in general, because you can go lower than that, but you're not going to listen to most of the radios. And what you want to do with mastering, with everything you do, is try to be standard. It doesn't matter if you make like a production that goes under like 40 hertz, which is almost impossible, but let's imagine you can do it, but you're not going to listen you're not going to listen to those frequencies in almost any speaker, and the human ear is not going to pick up that sound as easy. So I would recommend the 55 hertz. 56, 60 is okay also. So that's a good frequency for the bass, really low bass sounds. And if you want to give it as well as low bass but with a little bit of pop, you have the 100Ks, so you can boost that also to give it a little bit of pop. at the same time give you a little bit of bass also. So, and then again, I don't have any kind of production course. I didn't study production. This is from my my experience, personal experience from YouTube, from trying and failing from all over the years. So I might not be transmitting the better information on the market, but this is from my experience and from what I do, and it works with me. But I remind you that I'm not a sound engineer, but I know a couple of stuff, of course. I play a little bit of piano, just a little bit, not too much. More questions. People from Brazil. I showed you the effects and channels and noises, and I showed you everything. It's not that hard. It's I'm using samples from Vengeance, from the Cashmere pack, which is also sampled from Vengeance, most of it, and kindly Cashmere used made a pack with his favorite and most effective samples, which is one of the best packs for me. And I love his production, so big props to him. So yeah, and was it cool to remix Hardwell's track? Of course. I had just 3 days to make it, so I had to be fast. But I think the end result is cool. It works really well on the dance floor, and that's what was my my goal, was to be effective on the dance floor. And yeah, he plays it, he likes it, so for me, job done. If I can show you some new projects, I don't know. Maybe not. Soon, I promise, soon. If I have a favorite key to produce with, not really. I have a couple that I tend to get away from, like C, which was the key that I produced Collide in, and it really gave me a really hard time because the bass sounds were very low to mix, and they were a pain in the ass to mix with the vocals and everything. So it gave me a lot of hard work to get that sound, to get it right. So I most likely work in G, F, D, which is, this track is in D, variations if it's like D sharp, F sharp. So yeah, mostly these 3 keys, but it doesn't really matter. If I have a melody in my head and it's like B or something like that, I will do it, and then I see if it fits in other key. But if the feeling is there in that key, I will most likely do it in that key that I imagine in my head. So yeah. So guys, this is it. I hope you liked it. Don't forget, Cubano is out now on Beatport. I will leave the link in the description right now, so you guys can hopefully support the track. It would mean a lot to me if you could buy it on Beatport, your legal copy, because I would get the possibility to rank higher in the charts. It's not about the money, because as you know, as most of the people know, we don't get that much money from producing. I just produce music because I like it, I love it, and yeah, of course it's a big thing for me to have my tracks in the charts. That means that people buy it and support it. And of course I understand there's a lot of people that don't have money to spend on Beatport. I get it, totally get it. Just for you to listen to the track on Spotify, on YouTube, for me is perfect. So I don't mind. As long as you support me, you come to my shows, and you like what I'm doing. So that's what's really honestly important to me. So yeah, the link is in the description. Also, we have the video on YouTube, which is really funny. It's an idea that me and my team came up with, which I'm really proud. And also, we're gonna create a game. So I will be giving soon a game for iPhone and Android for free. So for free, you guys are not gonna have to pay for that game. It's gonna be free. Um, so yeah, we're working on that at the moment. So the video that you see on YouTube is gonna be a video game for free for your phone. So yeah, I think that's gonna be fun to see everybody playing the Cubano game, and it's fun because it's gonna be free for you guys, so everybody can have it. It's gonna be, I hope so, for all ages. I don't know, because of the cigar, maybe it could get some restrictions, but I hope not. So yeah, my friend there, João from Italy, shout out. And yeah, of course, I will be doing, as you know, more of these live streams. And this was just to show you guys basically how I made this track. I made this track, probably the main idea, I made it in one day, but then with mixing, mastering, all the details, maybe 2 weeks, something like this. I know a lot of producers produce faster. This is the way I do it. It doesn't matter if you take 1 month, 1 hour, 1 year. It doesn't matter. What matters is the end result. So don't get pressure by, oh, this guy can finish a song in 2 hours. Good for him. It's okay. Doesn't matter. What matters is if the track is good. So yeah, this is just a message for all you guys that sometimes get like wowed, you know, because in the industry right now, which you know, people get amazed on how fast you can build a track, but that doesn't really matter. What matters is the end result. Doesn't matter if you take like 1 year to make the track, as long as if it's good. That's the you know, the most interesting end result that you can get. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to buy Cubano on Beatport, again, if you can. And stay tuned on my page. Don't forget to subscribe. I think you have the subscribe button right here. So you can subscribe, and you can, you know, be notified every time that I do this kind of videos. And I'm going to do a lot more in trying to help a little bit about production, every aspect of it that I of course know about. And yeah, that's it. See you soon, guys. Thank you for watching. Signing off. Bye.